Okay, state who you are and what you do.
Do you mean like my real name or? Well, my name's LETHAMYR. I have a YouTube channel nearing 1 million subscribers, and I used to be a competitive Rocket League player.
Okay, awesome. I'm just gonna be rapid firing some questions at you.
Okay,
And we're just gonna have some fun with it. All right.
sounds good.
Okay, go to breakfast.
What's my go-to breakfast?
Mm-hmm.
Probably like a classic like sunny side up with toast, bacon, home fries.
Oh, delicious. Okay,
Yep.
if you do genre of things that you watch, like comedy, anime, horror, drama.
Um, I mean, for shows right now, it's like usually like sort of dramas. Like I've been watching Broadchurch recently. As far as like random YouTube stuff goes, either educational stuff, like learning more about different coding, or I watch like comedy and stuff, just random memes and stuff like that. I'm kind of all over the place. I kind of just go with the flow of YouTube's recommendations. So
Yeah, I
I'm
feel
under I'm
that.
under their influence for sure.
I feel that. What game do you play the most besides Rocket League currently?
Right now I've been like grinding Raft, which is an older game where you start off on like a little raft and then you have to like pick up different like materials from debris and then you start building more and more and more. It's similar to like Rust and Minecraft, like a kind of a mix of the two of them.
Yeah,
I've
I
been really enjoying that.
I don't know if it's like quarantine or what it is, but so many older games are like coming back and gaining like rapid
Yeah,
popularity. Like
yeah, for sure.
Rust and Raft are
You know,
both things
you
that a
know,
lot
you
of
know what
people
it
are.
is? You know what it is? It has to be the fact that like we don't have human interaction right now.
But we're gonna
so,
go
so
build.
yeah, now we can actually speak to somebody in front of us. Like I love games with proximity chat. If you haven't tried Among Us proximity chat, that's like you gotta try that.
No,
It's so much fun.
I got it installed and it like works on my end, and I went to do it with a group of friends, and
Oh yeah.
we were trying to do it, and like half of them couldn't get it to work, so I didn't get
Oh,
to
that's
use
rip.
it yet. I have it and I'm ready.
That's so cool though.
Yeah, no, proximity chat's been great. We've been doing that with the Rust server too. I think it's cool because it just feels like we're hanging out with people. But
Yeah.
okay, explain your name to people who don't know how you got the name Lethamyr.
I mean, it's actually kind of interesting because I used to play Minecraft a lot, and I made this like huge map. I actually made a video on it for my Minecraft and Rocket League video, where I created a Minecraft map where it was like an entire adventure game inside Minecraft, which is probably my first taste of like map making and like creativity in that way. But there's actually this guy named Vex, Vechs. He made like a list of maps called Super Hostile, and one of his maps was actually this name. Which is
Oh,
kind of cool that my name is based off of map making. And this, I made this name, like I used this name probably like probably started using it 7 years ago, and I never really did anything map making wise until like 3 years ago in Rocket League. So it's interesting that I kind of like liked the name so much because of the custom map stuff, and then now I do custom maps in Rocket League. So
yeah, no, that's like
yeah,
that's really cool. That's like a really cool
yeah.
full circle. Okay, switching gears a little bit. What's your favorite item in Rocket League?
Oh, don't put me in that situation. Oh, of course, my Lethamyr community flag has to be right, even though I
Oh,
don't wear it
true.
anymore.
I don't know. Like my brain just like completely flopped. Why
I
wouldn't that
mean,
be your answer? Okay,
it
favorite
has to be my
item
answer.
besides your very awesome, very deserved, very earned Lethamyr flag in Rocket
You're
League.
You're gonna hate my answer.
Probably
Alpha
you'd be
boost.
surprised.
I mean, what else? Okay, titanium white octane. How about that? Just all the classics. Like
Oh, the comment section.
pretty, pretty much my car. I mean, that's all I use.
Yeah, no, I get
So
it.
yeah.
I got to use Alpha Boost for a day, and I was just like, I thought it was really overhyped, and then I was like, but it's cool.
No,
But
no,
it's
it's
really
pretty sweet.
cool.
It's pretty sweet. And also, if you actually have it, it feels different than just using it in Baka's mod for sure.
Yeah.
Like, because other people see it as well.
Oh
But yeah,
God, I can't
I mean, I'm
imagine.
sorry for my vanilla
Um,
answers,
no,
but
no. That you'd be surprised. You'd be
yeah.
surprised. Okay. Is everyone in Canada really nice? You deal with people from all over
No,
the world, so
no. No, people are not nice here, not all the time. There's a lot of nice people, but no matter where you go, like I go into the US, or I travel to Spain for like old competitions and stuff.
Mhm.
Everyone, it all felt the same. I'm not
Yeah.
really sure if like Canadian people are more outspoken, so you see them online more being nice or something. But I'm not. I wouldn't say like I'm always nice. Everyone has their moments.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
but
just
yeah,
I had to ask. No,
yeah. Of course.
I lived in the UK for like a year and a half. And people are always like Americans are rude or whatever. And America has its own issues, and not unpacking that. But
We don't want to go there.
literally I lived in London, and they're the most blunt.
Oh, that's true. There's
So, like,
actually
but they're not meaning to be rude. So it's like different
no.
definitions of rude. They're just like you just say it how it is.
So
Uh,
I don't know how in the US it is for like red lights on turns,
mhm.
but in Canada on a red light, we can turn right on a red light.
So certain
Um,
areas of the US, like bigger
yeah,
cities,
okay.
sometimes they have to turn it off because you run into pedestrians. So like in New York, you can't turn right on red.
Well,
Um,
so my grandpa, like I was probably like, oh my god, I was like 13, so 12 years ago. Uh, he was driving in Scotland for us when we rented the car, and we turned left on a red light, and we got beeped at a bunch of times. So when we were on a ferry, we asked the ferry guy, who was like one of the people that security. They were like, just a quick question, like when you're on a red light, can you turn left around the corner? He's like, no, red means stop.
oh no.
I was like, oh, okay,
Just like, why
never
would you
mind.
ask that?
Why would you ask that? Red
Oh
means
God.
stop. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Um okay. So speaking of you traveling all over the world for lands,
yeah,
and we've talked about a couple things you do. You've been a pro player. You've been
yep,
a professional player. You've been a coach for Mouse.
yep.
You are a YouTuber. You're a Rocket League cartographer. You do so many things in the
I
community.
casted. Yeah,
Cast, yes, everything.
yeah, yeah.
Which one do you think above all has been your favorite?
I actually find map making pretty cathartic at this point because I'm like
I can
I'm getting
imagine.
I'm getting pretty good at it to the point where like I'm going through the motions of like the regular like the nuances that are really annoying are kind of just like my muscle memory at this point. So going past all that, it's definitely map making. Like I have basically endless creative freedom in Rocket League, which is pretty cool in a game that I would say doesn't you know, bode well for content creation. It's pretty stale as far as content creation goes, and people. I'm not saying people aren't making good videos. They're very creative, but you have to be super super creative to make a good idea. Meanwhile, like for me, I feel like I'm kind of cheating, where I just go like, oh, I want to make cornhole in Rocket League. Okay, I'll make a cornhole map. Just play that instead. So definitely map making. I feel like it's keeping the game fresh for me because I've played this game for 11,000 hours, and at this point, the regular gameplay, I like it. I definitely like going back to it and revisiting it. But for me, I think most of my time is spent like playing custom stuff, designing custom stuff, and I mean, it is a full time job for me, so I
Yeah.
treat it as such.
So speaking of, the map making and everything there, you are one of
Yeah.
the, largest Rocket League content creators, but I would say probably the most unique with your content when it comes to that. What It's a big decision that everyone makes when they like change their content. What made you want to like do that with your YouTube channel, knowing that it takes a lot of your time and knowing that it can be a little bit difficult and a little harder for people to get to. You do it so well. What made you want to do that?
Right. Well, my content started off as just doing ranked twos gameplay, just because I was a pro and I wanted to get out there. And when I started getting a little bigger to the point where I was being noticed by some of the content creators like John, I jumped in some group calls with Rizzo and Sis in them, and we started playing different challenges and standard modes, and then they introduced me to like the whole custom map thing. And, that's when I really got a feeling that this is pretty cool. This is like and it also performed the best out of the stuff that I ever put out. Um, because, back then, I feel like Squishy had a monopoly on the whole play ranked twos and talk about what you're doing, and he still does a really good job of that, and really helps out a lot of people. So, for me, I just wanted to set myself apart. I've always been one person like, a person to set myself apart in whatever I do. Like, my Highland dancing in the past and stuff. Um a certain style, a certain sort of um not physique, that's not the word I'm thinking about. Just like certain like flair on my dance performance. And so same thing with the map making is I can be a unique face in Rocket League while also providing something more than just a video to people. Like obviously you can provide educational and like content and knowledge. I'm talking like I can actually provide something malleable and something that someone can actually like pick up and use. So like my
Yeah.
rings maps and stuff.
I
Yeah.
think that's one of the coolest things about your content is that the majority of it that you put out, you're like, hey, here's how you do it. And here, hey, let me give you a breakdown of exactly how you can go do this. And it gives
Right.
opportunities for people to do different things in Rocket League. What is your favorite map? If you had to just pick one, what is your favorite one that you've done?
So I can't talk about one of them because it's not done, but it's definitely gonna be one of my favorites. But as far as the ones that have been released, I think there's different favorites, right? Like, cause for me, I'd say as far as Rocket League, if as I have some maps where it's like, I make it as if Rocket League could have released it and you wouldn't tell the difference. I try to anyway.
Yeah.
And I think standard drop shot is one of those. I know people have had a little bit of an issue with that little middle hump thing, which I could change, but as far as like map quality goes, I think that is top notch. You could look at that and be like, yeah, okay, that's like release
Yeah, that was
quality.
just part of the game.
Right, yeah,
Um,
for because a lot of my maps, I definitely just do it for the content and just try to get to a state where it's like, "Okay, this is playable, the quality's good enough that I feel like it's good." Like, sometimes I really hash together the backgrounds. But yeah, as far as favorites go, I'd say Standard Drops is up there. Obviously, Among Us is just, a in a class of its
so
own. It's like
cool. It's
yeah,
so cool.
that's
Um,
definitely the biggest passion project.
Yeah, no, but so speaking of all these videos you've done, we've kind of tipped through, you were a pro player and coaching and creating these videos and working really hard
Yeah,
to do them. And it shows in everything you do. It's not something that you can just sit down and like take 30 minutes to record and go, "Hey, everything that you put out is quality and everything that you put out, you can tell
oh,
that
I
you worked
appreciate
really
that.
hard for." So speaking of working really hard for and like seeing results, please tell us about your car. Tell me about your car. Talk about it.
Like, what do you
That's
mean oh, do you mean my new car?
Yeah, your new car that you got
Oh.
thanks to your hard work.
Yeah, yeah. I've been looking at like I'm not one to like splurge too often on myself. Like I usually get stuff that I really think I need. Um so for me this is like my one like I was really nervous to make this purchase obviously. Um for that car though, honestly, I think it should be worth double that it is. I think it's kind of a steal in that price range. But it's an LC 500. And when we were discussing the colors and stuff and I think that we got like, it's kind of an old man car, people say, but I think it has class where it's not like the yellow and red that sticks out.
I don't know
It's
who's calling that an old man car. What?
but I think people, take that, like, that tan color inside as, like, an old man or an old person car, but when we were thinking about, like, when you wanna sit in that car and experience, like, a different driving experience, most cars have a black interior. So, I think, like, the whole tan interior is, like, a really nice change, and, as far as, like, why I bought it, just right now with COVID especially, you kinda need, like, stuff to distract you, and I think that driving has become more of a chore over the last couple of years, but I want it to be more of like a luxury and more of like
Yeah.
a fun experience for sure. So that's why I decided to spend it, and I or buy it. I mean, and I think that I'm gonna take really good care of it, and that's gonna be a car that I'll keep for sure. Like it's something that I'll take care of and make sure I don't ruin it, and make it last as long as possible.
Yeah, no, definitely understandable there. And you guys did a great job. It is beautiful. And if you haven't, please go to Lethamyr's Twitter and look at it. It is beautiful.
Yeah, Sis a funny story actually. Sis actually that was the car that he got for 100,000 subscribers from his parents. I think it's obviously an older style. He actually sold it because he sold the LC to buy a car for his mom, which is really nice of him. But yeah, he I that's actually one of the reasons why I looked into it so much because I was like, I love that car. I love the look
Yeah.
of it. So yeah, it was a good choice for sure.
No, that's awesome. But okay, yeah, you kind of tiptoed into, like things becoming a chore over the last couple years and like balancing,
Yep.
with content creation during COVID and everything. How do you balance things? Because you spend so much time like in Rocket League and then in content creation and still being a great player and producing it. So what's your escape? How are you balancing like life during all
Right.
of this?
So I mean, a regular day for me usually, I wake up around the time my videos are posting, like around noon. I try to wake up earlier most days, but people think I'm like this person who wakes up at 7. I'm like a go-getter or something. But I just use my time wisely, I
Hey,
would
you can
say.
be a go-getter and still wake up at noon. Something
Oh
wrong with
yeah,
that.
for sure. Yeah, for sure. I mean, the thing is a lot of my nights go into like, 2, 3 a.m.,
Yeah.
4 a.m. sometimes. So um but like I just set myself a certain amount of hours to work on it, work on maps and stuff and record videos. And I try to stay like at least like 4 to 5 days ahead of daily videos. So I always keep like we keep a pinned comment in my chat with my editor and I just like have the dates. We have like a really good organizational format to like keep ahead. And right now like Danny's trying to stay my editor by the way. Danny, he's trying to stay like ahead to the point where he can get like Saturdays off and just quickly edit a video for Sunday during some other days. So we try to organize it. The Road to Supersonic Legends series is definitely like a helpful filler
Yeah.
for custom content stuff. But honestly, it's performing the best out of any of my content. So what do I know? So like the
And
stuff
new
that's taking the
players,
least
new people coming in.
yeah, it's just
There.
funny that the stuff that takes the least effort is like the lower effort videos are definitely the ones that perform better because it's just like, it's just me, my raw,
Yeah.
like myself, basically. Um but yeah, so I just think of like helpful series to keep the daily content flowing, and still be educational and still be helpful. And then I think that what works really well is mixing in some entertaining and just fun, stupid stuff like those fun custom maps where we're just laughing and giggling and having a good time. And then also like videos where I sit down and like get more intimate with the viewing experience. So I like to change it
Yeah,
up
so that was
basically.
actually one of my next questions, but you kind of answered it. I was going to talk about
Yeah.
how you release so much diverse content. You don't just like stick to, like you said, you're uploading, Road to Supersonic Legend, and you're uploading gameplay, and then you're uploading educational, and then you're uploading, the custom maps that you work on. So
Yep.
it's nice to see you kind of like already talk about it,
Yep.
and how it works with YouTube for you and how it works with everything there. And I think it makes you stand out as a YouTuber. What YouTuber outside of Rocket League do you enjoy the most?
Oh, that's hard. Um Surprisingly, I actually watch a lot of Mario Maker stuff because I like once again, it's probably just because of like the whole creation stuff.
Yeah.
Like I'm really a big fan of using a game's sandbox abilities and just like creating your own creations. So I watch like Panga and Carl Sagan 42 for that. I obviously watched Veritasium, who actually graduated from the same school I went to.
Oh, that's
Um
awesome.
I have no idea. Otherwise, like I kind of just like dabble here and there. I watch Northern Lion for sure.
Oh, Northern
Um,
Lion is great. I'm glad
yeah,
to see him get like back into Rocket League.
yeah. I've been watching his Spelunky series, and then I'm actually really loving his Sporkle series right now because it's just funny to see him freak out at some questions or react to them. But yes, that's mainly like just like kind of just browse whatever shows up, shows up. Um, Mostly, like I said, I try to keep it like either educational, um, creative, or just for fun. Basically, just kind of chill.
Yeah, well, that kind of leans into my next question.
I keep leaning into the
Um,
questions.
yeah,
It's just
you do. No,
I'm
it's
reading.
really good. It's a really good
It's like
flow of conversation. I'm
like
enjoying
I have the
it.
script or something.
Oh God, we don't talk about that. Shh.
Yeah.
But so yeah, on the creative aspect, and you're talking about like you really enjoy like the sandbox of the games. You've seen the ins and outs of Rocket League more than most people. Like you've seen the details of what's behind like making the
Yep.
maps and making things possible and the physics and everything there. Knowing everything you know about Rocket League right now, all the ins and outs, what are some things you would love to see come to Rocket League in the future?
I think people. Well, I can talk about what's not possible and
That's fair.
what needs to happen before it can. Unreal Engine 5 needs to happen before Underglow could ever be a thing. Um, the way they do their grass, it would just blow everybody's computers up.
That's really good
um,
to know.
It's just like too much lighting computation. Your CPU is already computing like a lot of physics for the game to even work, and that's why they use like a prediction. Those ghost touches will never be game because it's just how the client communicates with the server. Um, but as far as like being added, obviously I would love custom app support. I think that's really all there is to it. I'm not
Yeah.
sure if they have the capability to make like like in Fortnite how they have like a 3D grid that you can build on.
Hmm.
Um, like I don't know if that would be like a possibility in Rocket League. It probably would be if they worked on it. Um, but I think that would be really cool to see like give people like ramps that they can use and different building blocks. Um, so yeah,
I think creative mode in Rocket League would be game changer. I
yeah,
honestly
creative mode would
do.
be nuts. It's just a matter of how detailed it would be, what you could do with it, because like, is it just maps or is it game modes and possibilities to make new things where you can spawn in balls and spots and stuff? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, because I
yeah,
feel like there are people who would just go in, and there's not a problem with it. People always do it to push the limits, but like with Rocket League, it's very physics based. So people would just be trying to build things that like aren't physically possible to do things on. Um,
yeah, yep, yeah, probably. I mean, I just think that there's so much to consider when you go into creative mode, and I don't know if they want to push the resources to do that, um, because they have such a good formula going. And they're really pushing the whole competitive Rocket League. Like I think their main focus is on esports.
Yeah,
So we'll have to
we
see
can
what
all
they
have
do.
dreams.
Yeah, for sure. If Epic Games steps in and helps out, I could see like so many things happening. Obviously with some behind the scenes looks on like some of the beta they're working on. I'm looking forward to some of the stuff they haven't released yet. Um, and
What a tease.
I know
What
I'm
a
not gonna say that. I
tease.
can't. I can't say anything. But yeah, I got to obviously because I did the trailer for Rocket Labs. I
Mhm.
um got to see basically the current build they're working on, and some of the stuff was pretty cool. Some stuff I've been asking for a while, and some people have been asking for, but we'll have to see how it turns out in the final product.
Yeah, no, and I'm super excited, and I'm super excited that they're getting feedback from people that are part of the community about it. I think that
Yeah,
makes
for
it
sure.
important because like you create content around this and you do it for the masses and you know what people like. So
Yeah,
it's really nice to
yeah,
see that. But okay. To wrap this up, we I think you've done a really good job of leaning into everything and this was a really good flowing and like everything just
yeah,
piecing together. And we talked about basically a condensed version of your journey from being like a player. And a
yep.
lot of players create content in the Rocket League community, but a lot of that is, you know, just like uploading their gameplay because that's what they, you know, they were good at and that's what they do. Do you have any advice for people who play Rocket League, you know, regularly and are really wanting to make that switch to making content with it? If you could give any advice to people who are new to it, what would you?
Um, stand out. Obviously, that's like the classic response, but you gotta stand out. That's why I meticulously take the time now to write out intros in a script and plan out what I want to say, how I want to say it. Um, make sure you address your audience a lot. You want to include them. You don't want to feel like someone's watching you entertain someone else or you're entertaining yourself. You wanna cater to the audience that you have, and that's why when people ask things and when they recommend it, and I see that it's like a common thing people request, I try to accommodate to that. Obviously, you do you and you make your own content, but at the end of the day, um, if you wanna, like, be successful on YouTube, you have to, like, kinda cater to what your audience wants. You wanna stay fresh, stay exciting. Obviously for me, that's why my content's a little bit different, and I feel like it's hard to suggest things the way that I do it because it's like like, you could know my channel and you could be watching me for years, but you'll never know what the heck is coming out the next day.
Yeah.
Or you kinda just go like, "Oh, what's he gonna bring out? Do I wanna watch that?" So, um,
Yeah, no,
that's why I try.
I think that's a really good answer for like a wide group of people. And I know you pointed out that like obviously people aren't going to create content the way you do, but it was still a good answer because it's just saying, "Hey, stand out." And I think that that's a good
Yeah.
reminder that people need that there isn't I feel like everyone watches tutorials and YouTube videos and reads articles and thinks of what everyone's doing. And it's good to
Yeah.
follow trends and it's good to try to follow what other people are doing, you know, for the gist of getting what people enjoy. But that people
Most days
forget the most of that
yeah.
they're already watching that person.
Most days I'm thinking, "What have people not done or what have people not thought about?" That's how I go about it. Even, like, my Road to Supersonic Legends series, like, recently, our titles and thumbnails have catered to, like, let's make it more interesting. Make it about a concept. Make it about one little thing that happened in the video that we can use as the title and like make it like spice it up a little bit. So we just kind of like we kind of think we're kind of thinking backwards now because we used to just do the content. I say we because my editor is like really like a partnership at this point for me and him. We kind of work together. Um, like I used to think about the title and thumbnail after the video, but now I'm thinking like, okay, I'm gonna record this, but how is it gonna be formatted before we even do it? Can we come up with something unique? Um,
Yeah, building
sometimes,
blocks.
right, exactly, yeah. So make sure you have like a clear idea of what you want to produce, and then also how it will be presented. Because I say this a lot, like my Among Us and Rocket League video is a good a good analogy. Like, if I named that video like I don't know what like twos in Rocket League or something, or twos like just ranked twos or something, it might not do as well as like I created Among Us in Rocket League. So if you think about it, the title and the thumbnail are like the most important part of a video because if you don't entice someone to click on it, it doesn't matter how good the content is. It could be the best video in the world, but if it's not enticing to look at, no one will find it, right? So
Yeah, no,
uh,
exactly.
anyway, that's
Um,
probably my final note is to just focus a little more on thumbnails and make sure you, like, make sure you work on making it clickable rather than look good.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, and that's really good advice and that's a really good way to wrap this up. Thank you. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate
Guys,
you having me.
make sure that you follow or you sub to LETHAMYR on YouTube. Links will be below in the video. Make sure that you get him to 1 million subs quickly. Would love to see him join that, but he also streams, and you should
I'm just riding the wave. I'm just riding the wave.
definitely check out
Yeah.
his streams as well if you want to see him like actually working on and building these maps. And thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.